We have often heard of an alien species disturbing and even destroying indigenous ecosystems, but this trend has clearly been reversed in Mozambique. Coffee, an exotic plant species, has helped in restoring forests around a mountain in central Mozambique. Our next report telling you more about how this happened.
From a distance, Mount Grongosa looks pockmarked. The slopes of this Mozambican landmark were once covered with verdant rainforests. Now they are scarred by deep holes, the result of large-scale tree cutting that exposed the soil and parched it, leaving only shrubs and grasses. But in recent years, the forest has been growing back, thanks to a previously foreign crop, coffee. The mantra here is, for every new coffee plant grown, a tree is also planted to give it the shade required for it to grow well.
The relationship between the indigenous plants and the coffee is that coffee does grow very well under shade, and the community has destroyed this Gorongosa mountain, so we have got an objective to reforestate. So with the coffee, we are very successful in bringing back the Gorongosa forest.
Jusiasi Sabao, who now works for Grongosa National Park, fled to Zimbabwe a few years ago to escape the civil war in Mozambique. There he came across the coffee culture, which he taught to his people upon returning.
Before, this situation here was very, very difficult, the political situation, because we had conflicts around here. We had the Renamo military around here. So with all this, our work was being affected because we couldn't work here because they were fighting against each other, the Renamo and the Frelimo.
During the civil war in Mozambique, one faction of rebels used the mountain range as a wartime base and exploited the park's resources, thus pushing it to the brink of environmental collapse. Later, as the war dragged on to its final years, besieged rebels and their families cleared the forest to grow crops for subsistence.
So what we do with the communities all around the mountain of Serra Gorongosa is that we interest them in reforestation through additional income. Creating additional income through coffee, but also intercropping with other cultures while the coffee is growing. We have production of bananas, and we have a production of beans while the coffee is attaining the first year of production, which usually takes 3 years.
The World Bank says Grongosa now has some 300,000 coffee plants in addition to 400,000 cashew trees. 400 beehives which have together benefited some 200,000 people in and around the area. Grongosa coffee is exported around the globe, with profits being ploughed back to the inhabitants.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.